vol.1, aka Indigo Sky, aka Trigger Ranking. I want y'all to like, subscribe, share, definitely hit notification bell. We about to start the new little session of beat makers joint. So I'm gonna try to rock out this morning, make a little track or whatever. I might start out with some stems or whatever, or I don't know. I might play some stuff. It just I don't. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do something for y'all this morning. So we're gonna try to figure it out. And I already had started one earlier, so let me just see what that sounded like. Track man. How y'all doing this morning? Y'all get in the comment section, man. Let me know what's up. Y'all hit the cash app. I think I put the cash app in the description. I don't know if I didn't. Go to the top of the YouTube. Yeah, y'all. Tomorrow I'm about to finish the studio in here. About to finish it. About to go up. Then probably like next month I'm gonna finish with the other joints, and we're about to be one. We gonna be running at 100%. Let me see what the hell this shit sounded like. Hold on, y'all. That's not stopping. I'm trying to get it to stop. Stuff. I don't know what's going on, y'all. It's just stuck. I can't do nothing. Man, this shit, yeah, hey, I done messed up, bro. It's stuck. I can't. Yeah, I don't know if y'all know, man. It's a how can you say my name, Yasmin? Um, yeah, I think we're gonna go to celeb sauce first, y'all. We're going to celeb sauce. Y'all were trying to make a beat, y'all, but looked like it was to no avail. So I don't know. My whole shit just froze up on me. I couldn't stop it or nothing. So I had to restart everything. But we about to get to this. About to get to this Nolan Wells situation. Oh man, come on, what's going on, dog? Okay, there we go. About to get to this Nolan Wells situation. We got an update already early this morning, y'all. This stuff is crazy. I want to see the one with Okay, yeah, we're going to this. We're gonna do the sauce first, and then we'll probably rock out with Willie D and Poetic. But we're gonna go to the sauce, Celeb Sauce 2124. Y'all go check her channel out. But we got to react to this because this is Seeing like this gonna be breaking
Wow, your
news.
e-bike looks great. It must have been expensive, right? Actually,
My bad about the tracks, y'all. I was trying to make one, but
take a guess. $400?
had to start everything over from the get go. But
9 o'clock. If you remember. Hey yo, thanks for tuning into the song. Your source for celebrity news. Hey yo, thanks for tuning into the source. Your source for celebrity news. Do me a favor, hit that like button, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, why don't you go ahead and do that too? Alright, so I'm in the house, I'm chilling, it's man hot, and everybody in the neighborhood is running their ACs, and then all of a sudden, the power goes off. Now, the power was only off for about 10 minutes, so no big deal. But I walked downstairs to the kitchen to get some leftovers, and while I'm down there, I look at the clock that's on the wall, and I'm like, dang, now I gotta reset the clock. And in that moment, I had a thought about this Noah Wells case. So I ran back upstairs, rebooted the computer, and did a little research. Alright, so let's start here. Let's rewind the clock. If you remember, in one of the boys' last interviews, I think it was the second one, Bart decided that he was going to tell us about a boat and how a boat works. Unlike his buddy Warren, who likes to talk about bilge pumps and trimming the boat, Jax actually went into more detail about what was going on with the boat from the time that it started taking on water all the way to the Seatel phone call. Now, if we turn back the hands on the clock a little further, back to Warren's first interview, Warren said that the boat was taking on water and the water was almost on top of the battery. Even before the girl ran up to him and told him that his younger brother was on the island getting into a fight.
I got on the Triton, and the Triton had probably about 6 inches of water up to the transom, and I was freaked out because I'm good friends with Wyatt, and that was his boat, and no water's coming out, no access water's coming out, and it was a big issue because I think the reason was just because there were so many people getting on and off the boat, and at some point the boat was very, very crowded, and there was just a lot of people on, so it drags water in, and eventually, I think over time we were out there for a couple hours, the boat just started filling up with water, so I popped the starboard side hatch, and the battery was completely underwater.
So I'm gonna go ahead first off explain a boat. So a bilge pump is in the bilge. The bilge is underneath the deck where you stand in the very bottom of the boat. And
this motherfucker, he trying to be the boat doctor, and he don't fuck it up for everybody.
there's a space in there where you have all your electronics, your batteries.
But we need to know what's going on with this case, so fuck it up. Fuck it up.
Everything that controls everything throughout the whole boat. So the first thing that fills up on a boat when it starts to sink is the bilge. And it goes in the bilge and it starts filling up. Then the bilge pump kicks on, senses the water automatically, and starts pumping it out. In this situation, the bilge pump had a malfunction, it didn't kick on, and it got all the way to the very top of the bilge, which is the floor level. And then we started to see the boat actually sag down in the water, and we're like, okay, what's going on? So there's a cap in the back of the boat that you can unscrew and look inside the bilge. When you unscrewed it, there's so much water in the boat, it started overflowing onto the deck. And so at this point, we're like, okay, this boat's going down. It's going down quick. We don't know where the water's coming in from. We don't know what's going on, and we just go into full-on panic mode. Get this thing out of here now. So we hook up the boats.
No, call Cito.
Okay.
Let's get to that part. Because you called Cito first?
Yeah.
Or you had the boat?
He fucked this story up right there. He said no. He called Cito.
Cito first.
Yeah.
How you gonna help them with their story, nigga, and you wasn't even fucking there, bro? Like, bro, that's like you have a series of unfortunate events that you went through, and I'm interviewing you about it, and I'm telling you, oh, nope, it didn't happen like that. Bitch, you wasn't even there, bitch. Fuck wrong with you, bitch.
Okay.
So we hook up the boats and we start towing them out. And he's on the phone with Cito. Because, hold on, let me go back for a second. The electronics completely glitched out. Nothing is working on the boat. There's so much water in there. Nothing is working.
The batteries are also
The batteries are completely underwater.
underwater.
Like they're yeah, everything's fried basically. So we have it connected. I'm kind of towing him out, and he's on the phone with Cito, and he's trying to get them on the. And as he stated in the moment, he's like, Cito's just asking all these dumb questions. I can't like figure out what's going on. And so
Bro, Cito was not asking dumb questions. All I heard the call, bro. The questions were not dumb at all, bro. The questions were viable for if you needed to be saved on a sinking boat. She needed to know how many people were there, children, were there adults, how many people was on the boat. You know, do you need the Coast Guards? Those are not dumb questions, bro. Those are questions that needs to be answered in a timely manner, and at a time of stress or whatever. So you need to get your shit together, bro. Like, what the fuck is y'all talking about? They didn't ask this man one dumb question, bro.
Army hangs up, and after the trim to the motor started to work again. So they manually trim it down by the buttons on the motor, trimmed it down, and some electronics started to come back on. And they got the boat to crank over. And they're like, all right, untie us, because if you get a boat on plane, the suction of the water going underneath it will actually pull all the water out of the bilge if you have the plug out.
Now, I already know. You're over there like sauce. What in the world does what Warren and Jax just said have anything to do with your mini power outage and your clock stopping? Well, it reminded me that when power stops and the electronics go out, the electronics...
Oh, I see what she's saying. She's saying basically like when the electronics go out, that means that the GPS monitoring and all that shit might have not have been working. So they might have been able to do some, but see if they still had their phones on the boat, that would still show their global positioning systems, but GPS, whatever.
So how in the world do we have continuous GPS data for a boat that didn't have power for a substantial period of time?
We gotta run that back.
Is what Warren and Jax just said have
Oh.
anything to do with your mini power outage and your clock stopping? Well, it reminded me that when power stops and the electronics go out, the electronics go out. So how in the world do we have continuous GPS data for a boat that didn't have power for a substantial period of time?
I see what
See,
you're
when
saying.
Pop went to Wyatt's house to get the GPS data, he noted that Wyatt's boat uses a Garmin GPS Maps GPS system that runs off of the 12-volt battery that's located under the boat.
Oh, okay. I get what she's saying now. And Garmin is one of those. It's like a name brand. Garmin is like damn near the Nike of global positioning systems, like GPS or whatever. Damn, she made sense with that shit. Wow, that's crazy.
After you and Jack said specifically that all the electronics went out and then one was over there like, yeah, the water was over the battery, I asked ChatGPT a question. I said, ChatGPT, let me ask you something. If a boat has a Garmin GPS map system and the boat's power and battery dies because of flooding, and all of the boat's electronics go out, will the GPS system still show all of the boat's locations? And this is what ChatGPT told me. It said no. Power. And I was like, ChatGPT, are you sure? And that's when ChatGPT sort of put an attitude in the boat's power and back, but they're like, yeah,
Let her call that
the
shit
battery.
again. Hold on.
I asked ChatGPT a question. I said, ChatGPT, let me ask you something. If a boat has a Garmin GPS map system and the boat's power and battery dies because of flooding, and all of the boat's electronics go out, will the GPS system still show all of the boat's locations? And this is what ChatGPT told me. It said no, not after the boat loses electrical power. And I was like, ChatGPT, are you sure? And that's when ChatGPT sort of put an attitude with me and was like, oh my goodness, let me explain this to you.
Getting the same notes?
Simplex AI turns any definition
So
into
yeah,
a
if he,
song.
bruh,
Boost your notes. Choose your style.
if they trying to hide something, they doing a bad job at it. Cause Buddy that's a smoking gun, bruh. That's a smoking gun right there. If you on the boat and the power goes out, the GPS system goes out, so they could have threw Nolan Wells' body off that boat allegedly, and whenever I guess the power started coming back on and stuff like that, that's when. But I think when the power was off, or what if they intentionally did something to the boat to make the boat kind of start sinking, so the water could get into the panel or whatever, and knew that they had to do something to get his body off the boat. Yeah, like this shit's crazy.
A Garmin GPS map chart plotter connects to the boat's battery and behaves like this. Before the boat failure, if track recording was enabled, the unit records periodic GPS positions, creating a breadcrumb trail. When the battery dies, the GPS map shuts down and immediately stops receiving and recording locations. While the power remains off, the boat can drift, be towed, or otherwise move. The GPS map will record none, I repeat, none, None, of that movement. When the power returns, recording can resume from the boat's new location. The track may show a straight line, jump, or gap between the last position before shutdown and the first position after restart, but that line would not prove the boat actually followed that path, which means if you have power and then your power shuts off at point A, and then the boat travels to A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, but then the power comes back on at H, it's going to show a straight line from point A to point H. And this is what you call a data gap. ChatGPT went on to say, previously recorded positions would normally remain in the GPS map's memory after an ordinary power loss, but the GPS map would not contain every location occupied during the outage. That missing movement could potentially be reconstructed from another powered device, such as a phone, separate handheld GPS, AIS unit, towed vessel's GPS, or cellular location history. ChatGPT went on to tell me that the only exception would be if that particular GPS map had an independent backup power source that remained operational.
As many of you know, I've been following the Nolan Wells case and let you.
So like I know I used to work for a technology company, and we used to hook up like security systems and stuff like that. And what would happen is we would have it hooked up two type of ways. It would be hooked up with the manual landline, but we had it to where if somebody clipped the landline, it still would be able to work and alert the company that something is going on if it wasn't running off the landline. It basically would kind of work off of like I guess the Wi-Fi or whatever types like that. But yeah.
Want justice for Nolan Wells?
It like just say they cut your power to your house. The security system would kick in and have its own little battery, and it would have like a Wi-Fi service that would use the satellite. So you still would be able to, you know, be alert the authorities if something happened in your house.
Family deserves answers. And while we seek justice for Nolan Wells, I believe it is very important that we remain as objective as possible and follow the evidence and be truthful. Everything I do, I want to do in good faith. I want to follow the facts, and I don't want to just construct these theories that force us or force myself to lose any type of credibility. I've seen a bunch of different people talk about this case. I've seen a lot of different storylines, and I've heard a lot of different theories. One of the things that people have had questions about is the CETO call and were they on Horn Island? During that call with Vicky, the CETO operator, Wyatt gave two different sets of coordinates. And in the first set of coordinates, the last hard to hear because he cut out, but the longitude was the 88 degrees west by 46.72. That entire part of that conversation in the CTO call where he gave the first set of coordinates and then the second set of coordinates was about 1 minute and 6 seconds. There was about 58 seconds between each set of coordinates that he gave, and the second set of coordinates were 88 coordinates about 1 minute after the first set. First is point A. This is all allegedly based on the information that they've given, the coordinates that they gave, if all of this is factual. But 122 yards in that minute time means that they were essentially driving that boat at an idle speed. They were crawling while on the phone with Cito. I mean, at that point, they were less than 5 minutes from the shoreline to Horn Island.
I know what you're thinking.
Less than
Another
5 minutes.
injury lawyer barking for attention. Well,
If you're in a sinking boat, why would you continue away from the island? Why are you in such a hurry to get away from land if your boat is sinking? Why are you in such a hurry to where drowning at sea sounded better than staying on Horn Island?
Now, at this point, I'm actually intrigued. I'm not trying to set anybody up. I'm not saying that anybody is guilty, but now I'm interested in learning about this Garmin GPS. So I go ahead and ask the next logical question, which is this. Doesn't the Garmin have a separate battery pack that can still operate the device independently? And ChatGPT said, usually no. Not if
Okay,
it's a
see,
fixed marine Garmin
see, that's what I was talking about. I said, when I worked and I used to hook up the security systems, if they cut the main line of power, automatically kick in and it would have Wi-Fi service, and it basically works with the satellite system that's locked in with the company that we're installing
Tripod
in the house.
mounted in the center console.
So
it's
watch.
like, and ChatGPT said, usually no. Not if it's a fixed marine. Garmin may have a separate battery pack that can still operate the device independently. And ChatGPT said, usually no. Not if it's a fixed marine Garmin GPS map chart in the center console. So I was like, come on, ChatGPT. For a boat to give GPS data if the battery dies and it's not feeding power to the Garmin GPS system? And ChatGPT said, yes, actually, there is one way. And that one way is this. If they're using a portable Garmin GPS device with a different boat, it said it will stop tracking the first boat and start tracking the boat that is. And no, somebody out there is like, Source, what are you saying? I'm saying a number of things. One, if Jax is telling the truth and all of the electronics were fired, a portable Garmin device with a battery. Two, if they had a portable Garmin device, the device can be placed on any boat at any time. Three, if they didn't have a portable device, how is it that the authorities showed us an uninterrupted linear voyage from Horn Island to the mainland? And four, I'm guessing they didn't have linear data, which is why they combined Bart's GPS data with the board point with one track home. Now, of course, I'm no GPS expert, so who knows? I could be wrong. But here's the thing. If I was Crump, I would definitely look into this. Because if this is true, and Garmin has blackouts, then you really don't know where those boys were during different points of the day. And this could possibly explain why, in the KG Navy report, they said that there was a weird anomaly that happened and couldn't be accounted for. According to the GPS coordinates, the boat appeared to be 279 anchored all day.
The authors say that they still cannot establish a continuous, independently corroborated chain of events between Nolan's last confirmed departure of the boat he arrived on. They identified the interval as the most important part of this case. A second supply coordinates is approximately 279 meters from the MDMR origin vessel datum. The media supplied here does not establish what that second point represents. Now you guys remember something similar to this. where he put together the coordinates. And Jolly is a trained professional, a former Army interrogator. Okay, so that is the second point, the second map point where they said here it does not establish what event that second point represents. They'll find that. That's going to be important. And this is, I mean, all of this is still critical. In the timeline, the report documents changes in the positions of several boats, which they will talk about.
So here's my question. If Jax is actually telling the truth and all the electronics on that boat were fried, essentially from the time until we got the boat back online at about 5:20, do you believe that all of the electronics were fried except for the GPS? And that brings me to Brandon Tatum, because during the interview where he was discussing the scene to the phone call, he actually said that perhaps all of the commotion that y'all heard in the background where people were like, oh my goodness, he's dead. Perhaps they were talking about the fact that the boat was dead.
Maybe they said he's talking about items that could potentially have damage on the boat due to the fact that they were sinking. So I think people need to put this in context and reevaluate when they listen to the video, because if you were going to make a response,
Okay, I already know who's gonna start at this bitch. Hold on, y'all.
It is incredibly impossible. One more thing, real quick, that when you look at where they make GPS coordinates, it literally put them on the island, and we know, and not on the physical island, but really close proximity to the island. And we know, because we have another video of Nolan being out there and also all the other boats surrounding him, that this would have had to happen very near to hundreds of people, hundreds of boats. So if somebody would have seen something if there was a dramatic commotion like this occurring on that boat.
Listen, let me know what you think about everything that we discussed in today's video, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to share this video with your friends. And if you should feel so inclined to do so, hit that hype button too. Hey yo, thanks for tuning into The Source.
So 21-24, man. We got to work on some music, man. But until then, hold on, it was something earlier I was trying to find. Okay, hold on. Untangling Jay-Z, evil plan to destroy Drake. Okay, so we're going Poetic Flacco, Nolan Wells, DA, and medical district attorney and medical, the ME, are in big trouble. Let's see what's going on with this one. But until then, we're about to start rocking out with some music, try to see what's going on right quick.
Guys, the medical examiner in Nolan Wells' case and the DA are both under fire and heavy scrutiny today. And we're going both in this video. So the medical examiner, her name is Stacey Turner. She oversees, I guess, the autopsies, and she oversees a lot in terms of the medical examiner office. Now, people have a huge problem with Stacey Turner, and now these are the same people who sent over Nolan Wells' body to the independent autopsy without the lungs and without the organs needed for them to determine a cause of death. Now, apparently this has been done to other suspicious Black deaths, and people are sick and tired of it and want transparency. So this petition is not just like the whole wall petition. This petition got 45,000 verified signatures. 45,000 people have signed this to have her license revoked. Okay. This is a Mississippi State Board of Medical. Civil rights and all agencies charged with protecting the integrity of Mississippi's criminal justice system.
Hold on.
They reached a. So what exactly has she done that has these people pissed off? Well, let's keep on team, right? So this says, we, the undersigned citizens, families, advocates, and supporters of equal justice under the law, respectfully but unequivocally call for an immediate independent investigation into the professional conduct, forensic determination, and death investigations overseen by the most consequential positions within medical examiners or entrusted with determining the cause and manner of death through objective scientific analysis, their conclusions influence criminal investigations, judicial proceedings, insurance determinations, and most importantly, rather grieving families ever receive justice. So they're saying that this woman has not truly satisfied the conditions regarding the accuracy.
I gotta cut it off. I don't know. I'm gonna cut it down.
Investigation, right, or impartiality. For the past several years, deaths involving African
This
American
shit about to piss
individuals
me off.
have generated substantial public concerns. Families, independent forensic experts, civil rights advocates, and members of the public have questioned whether these investigations were conducted
So basically, this is the moment that they knew they fucked up.
with the rigor, transparency, and impartiality required by accepted forensic standards. So they go through like the cases. Now, Nolan Wells is one of the cases. He's all the way down here. But let's go to the other case. Okay, so one of the cases they're claiming is a case from DeMartavion Trey Reed that took place in September of 2025. Apparently, they found the 21-year-old at Delta State hanging from a tree. Now, although his death was officially ruled as self-inflicted, the issue is a little bigger than just Trey or Nolan. See, the real issue of this petition here is they're saying, bro, since September of last year, there's been about 13 unanswered, unexplained tragedies involving young Black kids. And we can't just keep hearing, oh, it was an accident or drowning. Oh, you know, this person got, found hanging from a tree, and they got found hanging from a tree because they put themselves there. Like, after a while, we got to start saying, I don't know. Like, I don't know too many Black folks who are going out looking for trees, right, to self-inflict, you know, the ultimate sacrifice upon their life. I just don't think that too many Black folks is doing that. But it's been 13 unexplained. Now, let me.
I don't see it either. But 13, that's a big number, bro. 13 is a lot of people, bro. That's like one, maybe two, pushing it 3, but 13 dead people, bro. Like something ain't right about that one right there. Something is definitely not right about that. So they're gonna have to get this. They're gonna have to get this together.
Get through the 13, okay? So now we have Daniel Irvin, who, you know, his parents were involved in the Nolan Wells press conference. Daniel Irvin was actually quote unquote drowned July 13th, right? And they're claiming, you know, that this was also accidental as well, even though the circumstances around his death is much more suspicious than the Nolan Wells death. And y'all let me know if y'all want me to cover this Daniel Irvin case. This Daniel Irvin case, trust me, like if you don't know yet, the circumstances surrounding his death is a lot more suspicious than Nolan's death. Like, it's almost insane they think that Daniel Irvin accidentally drowned. Now, let's continue. November 13th of 2025, all right? Torrance Tory Medley, right, 39 years old. They was quote-unquote found hanging from a tree. They claim they put themselves there. All right, let's continue. Another one, Cal Basinga, 21. There's so much more that I didn't even get a chance to go through. Yeah, but people are sick and tired of being told, you know, that these young men and women, you know, they're either accidental or self-inflicted, and people ain't buying it anymore. They're just not. And they're calling for accountability. Damian Cameron, right? So following his death, after an encounter with Rankin County Sheriff deputies, Dr. Turner office classified the manner of death as undetermined. Independent forensic pathologists later concluded that the evidence supported a homicide determination, raised a significant question about the original findings, and rather critical evidence was appropriately evaluated. And that also a part.
But see, you gotta remember where this at, y'all. This shit is in Mississippi. This ain't New York. This ain't LA. This ain't. I mean, I really can't even see this shit happening in Florida like this, even though stuff like this happen all over the country. But is known to be a racist state, and just by us looking at this whole Nolan Wells case, bro, we just see that, you know, it's like no justice being Well, it's just as being sought after as far as the family side, but when it comes to these, it's like they pussyfooting around. They're not really like gun ho about trying to figure this case out. And what's crazy is the one of the boys got the ultimate connection. Like his mama is a judge. Like so, I mean the shit just all the way around. This shit is. I mean I don't know, bro. We've been talking about this shit for a month now. It just every day it just keep getting worse and worse. So every day we get every day, every 12 hours, it's an update on this case. So basically it's something that out here that is unfortunate in the legal system in Mississippi that is showing us that, there isn't you might not be finding justice in Mississippi, especially if something happened to you and you black.
So a part of the problem here. Their office did an autopsy on Nolan Wells. They completely just never notified us. Hey yo, there's like a red spot in the back of Nolan's head and neck.
Judge Mathis made a good point when he said what was red when they did the first autopsy. No, I think it was the independent autopsy that found out that there was a red spot in the back of Nolan's neck. Now, I don't know if y'all ever seen mob movies or movies where they terrorize people and things of that nature. But when they when they drown people or they got a thing called waterboarding, where do they grab your head to put you underwater? The back of your neck, because they basically have to get what you call a good grip. Like I'm gonna show y'all. Hold on. So look, this is what I'm trying to say. If you trying to drown somebody, and just say this is the water level, this water level right here. So boom, you're not gonna drown them by pushing them on their back or even pushing them on the head because the hand gonna slip off. You're gonna grab the back of the neck right here. You're gonna grab the back of the neck and you're gonna force it down. And maybe Nolan was fighting to get back up, and the um that's where the joint came from the back of his neck, like what the red mark, and that hasn't been explained. Also, the fact that they removed the throat area and they removed the lungs before the independent autopsy. I feel like that basically took away the second independent autopsy's examination to be able to be complete. Because I mean, the first way you tell if somebody was drowned, you look at the lungs, it'll be waterboarding. See what I'm saying? So
That needs to be looked into. They just bypassed that completely, never addressed it, never mentioned it. And it took an independent autopsy, a red spot in the back of his neck.
you gotta think about it. He a strong kid. He played football. So if they're trying to hold him down underwater and he's coming up like this, it would make the most sense in the world that they're grabbing the back of his neck, trying to push him down underwater, and that's why he had the red spot on the back of his neck, y'all.
That's pretty unusual there. But Stacey Turner in her office found no need to mention that. They had to find out via an independent investigator, right? During the independent autopsy.
Oh, so he find that, but you take his lungs out, and you take his lungs and you take his throat out. The two things that would be able to definitely identify drowning or not like And even though, well, yeah.
Now we're having the independent autopsies, right? The independent investigators coming to different conclusions that this medical examiner is coming up with. Sorry, young black men and women. And with the results that you guys is coming up with, independent investigations, then we got to figure out who's lying. The independent investigator got no reason to lie. They're not invested in this small town. No, they're just doing their jobs. So people are asking some real questions here, man. So they continue. Family has publicly expressed concern that his body was embalmed before necessary forensic examination had been completed, thereby limiting opportunities for additional independent analysis. Whether or not protocol was followed, the circumstances have further eroded public confidence in the integrity and transparency of Mississippi's investigation process. Nolan Walls, we know all about Nolan Walls, okay? Like Nolan Walls, his death has likely become the subject of significant public scrutiny, and independent forensic pathologists concluded death should remain undetermined pending further investigation and stated that foul play cannot be excluded. That opinion is so much more. And they're saying for you guys to appoint an independent panel of board certified forensic pathologists from outside the state of Mississippi to conduct a comprehensive audit of death classifications in cases where credible concerns have been raised by families or supported by independent forensic opinions. And I believe that's more than fair. Like, I think that's fair, right? If you guys are not gonna, fire her or take her license, then let's have an overseeing board that if the families believe that something suspicious is going on, they at least have somebody do the research, do the investigation, and say, okay, yeah, they were correct in terms of the cause of death, or they were wrong. But right now, the family don't got any trust. Now, apparently, the DA is under fire as well. Former prosecutor is calling the DA out for how she was phone situation. I've said from the very beginning that the phone is important, but
the mother, basically, the
DA is not the mother, phone like.
The family and Ben Crump has came out and, I guess the last maybe week or so, week and a half, they have been bashing the family, basically saying that the family won't give over the phone and all this goofy shit. But the family is like, this is basically like the last shot of us figuring out what actually happened to our child. So if y'all already pussyfooting around, we're not just gonna just give you the last piece of information and y'all take that shit and just throw it on the shelf and say, oh, okay, yeah, we got the phone, and don't look through the phone. We're gonna look through the phone, but we wanna look through the phone all together. All together now. Let's do this shit all together. We're gonna have a certain day, a certain time that forensic technologists take this phone all together from both sides and look at the phone together. Not, oh, we just gonna give you the phone and you take the phone and throw this shit on the goddamn shelf somewhere, bro. Come on, bro. It's not gonna work like that, and we're not gonna let it work like that. So yeah.
Lilwell's parents for quote unquote not cooperating, which is furthest from the truth. The prosecutors and the DAs have not requested a phone from them. The phone is not their priority. They could care less about the phone, which is very odd because if Nolan Wall's case is going to a grand jury and you guys are going to present, then shouldn't you guys
look through his phone? Come on, bro. Like, let's just be real with this shit, bro. Motherfuckers is not being real with this situation, with this case, bro. Like, people really just brushing this shit over this boy life don't mean nothing to nobody. And I feel like it's sad because this is a miscarriage of justice, man. It definitely is, bro. This is a miscarriage of justice right here. This right here is this what you don't want. That's all I'm gonna say. This is what you don't want.
Be requesting this phone. Shouldn't this phone also be a part of what you guys?
Wells case, I have a message directly to DA Angel Myers McGrath from a former prosecutor who did the same job you did, 30 years experience, certified criminal trial lawyer, former head county. Listen, this phone issue is getting out of hand. Nobody knows what to believe because you keep refusing, as I said previously, to do proper public relations. Now, supposedly, letter out there that says you agreed in July to have the phone examined with the experts from the family at a specific location and in a specific way, and that they are ready for examination. Now, I've been involved in things like this, so I don't know what's been said or happened. The only story that we're listening to is that from Nolan Wells' family. And when they send you a letter and you don't respond and correct that letter, then we can only presume rightly that what's in that letter is correct. So the question becomes, if you had an agreement, why is it not being honored? There are accounts that you have demanded that the phone just be turned over in violation of that agreement. And that is not a good thing, not a good look. I can tell you from the commentary on the post that I've had that your constituency out there in Mississippi does not trust law enforcement and does not trust this investigation. Your continued failure of the community on any misinformation or business information, or say, for example, if this agreement was, then you need to get out there and you need to let the public know. Now stop by correcting the record. You are making sure the public has an understanding, so we can only presume what's been written by Mr. Crump and his team is accurate. That phone is vital to any grand jury presentation. If you don't get that phone and you don't download it, then you are going to look like a bum no matter what it is that you do, and nobody will ever trust the investigation, to be honest with you.
Even if you have found yourself on the side of people like Tatum and others, I don't even think you can, with good conscience, say that you trust this investigation. You can't with good conscience say, hey, I trust this investigation. This investigation is going how I think it should go. I don't even think you can act at all, man. It's just too much flip-floppy here, man. First off, it started off as no foul play, then it was some foul play, then no, it's a drowning, then it's no, we're bringing it to a grand jury, then no, it's a drowning, we're just bringing it to a grand jury just for protocol. That this case is now being a criminal case and not just an accidental drowning.
Secret Service Sam here with a Nolan Xavier Wells update, and little birdies are saying.
But this is the thing though, bro. Why it took them down there a month? A month and some change to figure this out, bro. Because seems like when he first was found, nobody didn't wanna basically do no type of investigation. They just wanted to make it seem like he was, like he basically just drowned, and it was nothing else to it. There's nothing else to see here, folks. That's how they were treating this case. It took a month and some change for them to try to figure out. But it's like they didn't. It was like they almost didn't even want to figure out what happened to Nolan Wells.
It's not been completely verified. The DA's office is now looking at the Nolan Wells case. We pray that this is true. Obviously, we can't celebrate. We can't get excited at all because I have not seen Ben Crump announce this. It is not being reported by any other person. We must continue to keep the pressure on.
That pressure to me is very important. That pressure is very important because that pressure is why TMZ, no more than about 2 weeks ago, was calling all of us crazy conspiracy theorists. They were running PR on behalf of Nolan Wells' quote-unquote friends. But now TMZ is doing interviews saying, hey man, we were the very, like, I understand you gotta, like, hit your bottom line, but you not about to put the death of Nolan Wells beneath that, right? It's not happening. So TMZ went from lying about the CTO call, lying about evidence.
I get, like, this attorney is probably convinced them, yes, do this, talk about this, and it'll change public opinion. But what it really does, it makes people will look at it and go like, well, what are you getting out in front of?
How much is this RT airplane? Like $150?
Not even half. Actually, Temu has a big clearance right now. We're clearing inventory with a limit.
Front of.
Bingo. And when he says it's weird, especially when you take into consideration, Nolan Wells' parents or his team have not said they're suing the boys for anything yet. They said they're suing not suing, but they're filing like court paperwork for the social media companies to subpoena the information from the social media accounts just to make sure that the activities all match up. But they haven't said they're suing Nolan Wells yet. However, during Tatum's interview, they responded to the possibility of Nolan Wells' team suing them, which to me was super weird. So weird to me is the perfect word, weird. Nothing about this matches up, nothing about this makes sense. And even somebody who was once on their side got to sit back and say, come on, bro. Like, isn't this like the third or fourth interview by now? Like, what's going on, man? Like, what's going on? And especially like the talking that it really hurt me seeing them attack that boy's mama. Like, that really affected me. Yeah, you could watch like Christine interviews, bro. Like, Christine ain't trying to nobody, bro.
Yeah, that lady, she's saying like.
And even Charles said the same thing, man. That them going after his mama was a low blow. It was low. These boys got to start taking advice from their parents, man, and not this lawyer. But if their parents are telling them to go after the mama, now that's just a bad mistake, man.
If you didn't do anything, there's nothing to get out in front of. So in some ways, it can backfire on you. It's just weird to me. And then you also run the risk of what did happen is that one of these kids sits down and blasts Nolan's mom and says that she was wrong to put out that photo, and that's not going to play well in the public for you, man. That you're attacking the mother of your best friend, who you're so distraught about losing him, yet you're doing an interview where you're attacking his mom.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Like,
it's disgusting. It's disgusting, Charles. I agree. It's disgusting. That's the right term for it. Disgusting. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? Who do you guys think should receive consequences here? Who do you guys think has been more flagrant, the DA or the medical examiner?
All right, y'all, let's see. We got something from. Yeah, we got a lot of shit to work with today. Cause I want to do all Nolan Wells though, so. Damn. Trying to find some Willie D live stuff. Hold on, y'all. Let me find Willie D live. Give me a second, y'all. Cause he got all of the. Okay, there we go. The Nolan Wells stuff on now. So, prove Nolan Wells might have been. Okay. Yeah, he got all of the stuff on there. Okay, so we'll do this one right here first. I don't know who in here, but yeah, what's up? How you doing? What's up? Pete, shout out from me. Yeah, I'm about to check out Willie D. back to in this Nola Wells family debacle. Let's see what's going on.
What's up, family? Well. What do we have here? Nolan Wells family member who says that she is the woman who went to retrieve his cell phone on behalf of his mother and father. Yeah, fam. This is cold blooded. Check it out.
They sent me to his house, which that boy had never been in the water. Wyatt did. I never even really talked to Warren. The whole time I was in the house, I spoke with Wyatt. Wyatt is at the phone that supposedly was in his truck or whoever, but Wyatt is who I talked to. I never talked to Warren. I'm not sure why Warren is doing that, but I turned the camera around directly on Wyatt and told my sister outside somewhere. They said it was in the truck. I'm not sure where it was at. It took them at least 15 minutes to bring me the phone. By this time, the boys would start Wyatt started getting jazzed at the mouth. So my son, they was like, hey, you better watch your tone, like don't get smart, my mama.
Right.
Cause we trying to see what up, because we trying to figure out why y'all see y'all ass up there chilling and they know we missing. So that's why I asked again, where's the phone? She's gone. That's when he told me she was gonna get it. I said, oh, she must have to go back home. I was truck outside. Now mind you, we had to pass all the cars to walk in the house. It's just too big, like it's a bunch of lies. I don't feel the need to, like I said, when they go to the Commissioner Javon, I'm gonna say and stand up behind mine every single time. As far as me and that other shit, I don't feel the need to explain anything to any of y'all.
And that's that. This is a woman who allegedly went to retrieve the phone. Now, I'm not sure who wrote this, but in the same post that I saw on TikTok, somebody who identifies as Ali, now this person don't have a picture. There's no picture at all. That's not even an avatar picture, not even a picture of a truck or a bicycle for the profile pic. But they go by Ali B-E-E. And it reads, care for the correct timeline? Let's go. 1, boys on the island. Warren leaves to get his brother around 4 p.m. Jackson's at the it would have been really simple. He drowned. But according to people who live in that area, they say it would be almost impossible to drown in that shallow water. And then especially when you consider how great of a swimmer Nolan was. Then
they say he was a strong swimmer.
Nobody saw him going to the water. With all those hundreds of people on the island, nobody saw him go into the water. Nobody saw him slip, bust his head, fall overboard. Nobody saw him choking. Saw him getting choked. Nobody saw him getting punched, kicked. Nah, man. Something's going on here. Something's going on. We're going to get to the bottom of it. One way or the other. Yeah. But youngsters who were involved, I think they thought that this was going to be a textbook murder and they were going to be able to get away with it. They thought
they thought they were going to cover this shit up.
Next thing you know,
nah, buddy.
Pressure knocks at the door.
Not this time.
And it don't even wait for you to allow them to come in. It pushes its way through the door and demands justice. Nolan Wells was murdered. If somebody gets murdered in the good old United States of America, we, the American people, the American people, yeah, there you go. We, the American people, expect consequences. We expect consequences. We expect somebody to pay. We expect the family to get justice. And we expect those who are tasked with making sure that justice is served do their job. That's all. And that's all the family has been asking for. They've been asking for justice, and they it was very telling when Trayston spoke. We was talking to Tatum, and Trayston said that if Nolan was here, he would want to answer. Why would he need answers if it was an accident? If he accidentally drowned, why do you need answers? Said Nolan would want justice. Well, justice for what? According to y'all, he drowned. Story, and you're sticking with it. Y'all better be glad I'm not one of the investigators. You better be glad. You better be glad you got yourself a good white supremacist governor. You better be glad I'm not the governor. Ooh, man, I use all my powers to bring. I cut all that uncivilized blood activity out. Day one, I would set a mandate. Okay, we about to start doing some real investigative work. We're about to really start for the people, all people. Let me tell you something. White supremacy not only hurts black people and other brown people, but it also hurts white folks. Even the ones who are not involved in like actively, practicing their white supremacy, right? Even the ones who think that they can just be silent, that silence is wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Silence is wisdom. So for the ones who are just tired of hearing about stuff like that, it hurts y'all. Because if these uncivilized ones are not out here uncivilized, then you don't have to hear my voice in regards to these type of matters. But as long as this type of stuff is happening, are we gonna speak on it? Y'all don't want us to be silent so y'all can be comfortable. It don't work like that.
It don't work like that, bro.
Who you should be. I find it funny that people who take exception to the people who are in support of justice being pursued in this Nolan Wells case, and somebody going to jail. I found it interesting how they have so much angst for people who are in support of Nolan Wells, but they don't have any zero for the people who might be involved in his death. It is extremely revealing when somebody attacks the innocent parents of a deceased child because they don't like the idea of them asking questions and making the residents of the community uncomfortable. They're more uncomfortable with the parents of a deceased child asking questions about their death than they are the people who might be responsible for causing that death.
Cause just like they did something to Nola, they could do something to somebody else.
Uncivilized Muslim.
They could do something to somebody else. Shit. They fuck around, y'all go up there and they kill y'all ass on Horn Island. Then what? Yeah, you talking about?
$2,100. That's
Damn
3
what?
months of groceries. $2,100. That's the tax increase Joe Nossoff supported. Joe Nossoff doesn't care about people like us. Call Senator Ossoff and tell her to stop voting for higher taxes.
I'm going to prove that Nolan Wells was physically dropped or dumped at the shoreline where he was found, just based on AI science or biology. Starting with this, Cajun Navy official Brian Trasher actually says that he was stunned that when Nolan Wells was found, he did not appear to be bloated whatsoever. He was face down, but he didn't appear to be bloated. But why? Now, we know this general area of Horn Island is known as a washing machine. So here, in the dynamic maritime environment, such as a washing machine currents off Horn Island, hydraulic forces override buoyancy physics, which means powerful undercurrents, rough surf, or shifting tides can mechanically sweep a sunken body off the seafloor and churn it back up to the surface, even if the body is still completely unbloated. But here's the big one. This is the one that I want everyone to pay attention to. You may actually skip the whole sinking process in general. If an individual is unalive before their body enters the water from a medical emergency, foul play, or trauma on a boat, their lungs may still be fully inflated with air. Because their lungs are never filled with water, the body preserves its natural buoyancy and can float face first on the surface immediately, skipping the initial sinking phase entirely. Which now brings to question, he was found face down. He wasn't bloated, which means he skipped possibly the sinking phase. How come no one saw him on July 5th until July 6th? It's really starting to prove my theory of he was dropped off there.
I ain't got no problem with that theory, man. Who knows? Who knows? Did they do what they did to him on the boat and then transfer him back to the independent and then decide, you know what, we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do is send him back out there. And then next thing you know, he washed up on shore. Did he really wash up or was he already right there? And right there, where the water begins, right? Like right there in the shallow water, right? I don't know what they did, exactly how they did it, but I know they did it. That's right, I said it, man. I ain't scared of y'all. I know they did it. That's right. I know they did something. They did something. This theory in the Nolan Wells case, I don't think that it can simply be laughed off without somebody doing the scientific work to test it first. If Nolan didn't naturally end up where his body was found, but what if his body was placed there? Like, seriously, let's take a look at all you people that don't believe that was foul play. Just look at it from the other end for a moment. What if, because I looked at it from y'all side, and I gave y'all the benefit of doubt for a minute, then I came back to my conclusion. But what if Nolan's body was placed there? Not saying it was.
Boom, 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 boom. Choo, 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 choo. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on, brethren. Hold on. Like, boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on. 1 second. Boom. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. That's right. Yeah, that's it there, Bridget. Hold on. Hold on, let me see. refresh that right now. Hey, hold on, I got that. Hold on, I just gotta put them bitches in the right little spot. Hey, come on, turn it up. That's all I. Okay, say that, man. Say that. Just like that. ahead and leave this live. I'm gonna finish this whole baseline shit. Let me see. Hold on, let me see. Dum, 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 dum. Hold on, I'm gonna start from the beginning one more time, cause this shit. Let me see. Okay, let me write that bit one more out. Let me see. That shit might wrong, Hold on, let me see. Okay, move that bitch right there. No, don't do move that right there. Ooh, that big old be hard. That big old be hard, bro. Yeah, that's 4 wheeler, man. That's what I'm telling you. Dang this shit. God damn, man. It's gonna probably make it. Make it an issue when a nigga don't want to goddamn. I just begging and shit. Man. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Say that motherfucker because I'm already on the right track. I'm already on the right path, my nigga. Hey, that bitch gonna be hard. Ooh, that bitch sitting just right on the. That bitch sitting right on the track, nigga. Right on the track, bitch. Damn fucking. Goddamn. come with it, my nigga. Yeah, hey. Ooh, I might hit that bit with that boom, 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 boom. Hold on, let me see. Cause I gotta rock that bitch out at the end right quick. I had to get this last little piece fixed. Once I get that fixed, I'm about to take a little hiatus. I'm coming back though, y'all. I'm coming back. Okay, I gotta get this last little. Okay, I gotta put that bitch on one spot. I get this one little. Okay. Hold on. One more time. Let me just see, mama. Okay. That's it. That's it. Walking down. Man, come on. I might have fucked it up. It's just right up in this area right here. Something I gotta the time right. Time right here, right here. Okay, that sounds about right. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Boom, boom. Okay, that's it. So we say that right there. Say that.